I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. Great news, the SBA shutdown is over. The government is open. SBA lenders are able to get authorizations, get capital flowing to Main Street. Listen to this conversation Chuck Evans and Lance Sexton and I had regarding turnaround times.
Unilaterally giving up to a 90-day deferment. Lance, what are the logistics on that? What do we have to do with that?
Well, this loan is sold in the secondary market, if you see what's in parentheses. And yes, as an SBA lender, you can unilaterally defer payments, whether it be an interest-only payment deferment or a full principal and interest deferment for 90 days without getting approval from anyone. It's a unilateral action. Anything beyond 90 days will require approval from the investor and then concurrence by SBA. So Paul's correct. You can do a 90-day deferral without approval, but the second part is, how do you deal with the additional monies that would be owed as a result of that deferment? Well, on a loan that's sold in the secondary market, you're going to have to keep the maturity date the same. If you want to change the maturity date, change the payment, change some term in a loan, that too is going to require investor approval. So I think what's going to have to occur on this one, almost all SBA lenders at the end of every year re-amortize loans, especially in an interest rate environment where there's change. We went about 7 years without having to really re-amortize anything. Now rates have changed 8 times, or is it 9 times, guy? Anyway, these loans are going to have to start being re-amortized on an annual basis so they pay out within the term of the loan, and that's what's going to fix this one, Paul.
We love to answer questions. Paul, our resident questioner extraordinaire, asked Lance this question about raising loan limits. Now, lenders have the ability to raise these unilaterally. By the way, pro tip, if you raise a loan to the over $350,000 threshold, then you have to do a number of other items in the credit memo and in the analysis. So make sure when you do that, you have the right to do that. You need to go back and update the credit memo. Listen to this conversation of how to raise SBA 7A loan limits up to 20% on 7A loans and up to 33% on Express.
Paul, I have a question for the SBA shutdown. Paul is a GP lender, Lance. And last week we talked about the shutdown that says, hey, the lender has the unilateral authority to increase the loan balance by 20% on regular 7A and 33% for Express. Now he's GP. Can you do that, Lance?
Well, Bob, it depends on, of course, I'm assuming that Paul's saying the loan is approved but not dispersed yet. The loan can be increased 20 up to 33%. It does require some documentation to support that increase. But if you're a GP lender, that's going to have to be submitted to 7aloanmod.gov for approval from SBA. Now, if you're a PLP lender, you can make those increases by making the changes in E-Tran, paying the appropriate guarantee fee. And when you save it in E-Tran and it accepts it, that's the same as SBA's approval. So, but in this particular case, Paul indicated he's a GP lender. So any increase in the amount of the loan would have to be submitted to SBA, again, 7aloanmod.gov. I may be getting that wrong, but it's the 7A Loan Mod email address at Citrus Heights for approval from SBA.
Lance, I'm a PLP lender, but I've processed the loan GP. Do I have to go through Citrus Heights, or can I unilaterally increase it?
However you process the loan makes a determination of how the servicing action flows, especially. Now, when you get past final disbursement, guys, most of the servicing actions are the same on a GP loan or a PLP loan in terms of whether it's unilateral or not. But prior to final disbursement, GP loans, any change in the amount, any change in the authorization is going to have to go to Citrus Heights for approval. On PLP loans, you can make those changes. In some circumstances, that's just documenting the file with a memo. If it changes any significant details on the loan, like loan amount, loan term, you have to make those changes in E-Tran. But again, on a GP lender, this one's going to have to be approved.
We love talking to people. McKenna Weeks, CorpSmart. Welcome, McKenna. McKenna Wicks, CorpSmart.
Well, thanks for having me. You got it right.
Out of Seattle. What do you do?
We work with law firms, lenders, corporations throughout the world. We pull due diligence for them. We pull UCC searches.
All right. When you say pull due diligence, what does that mean?
We get all of the information regarding the borrower or the potential borrower. They'll vet it out based on that information. Are they a good borrower for them? And then when they decide that they are, they will come to us. We will prepare the filing with them and submit it and close it up.
Great. Yeah. Anything unique with SBA lending versus conventional lending?
We seem to pull a lot more due diligence. They just want to know more. And so, yeah, it's whatever they want. We go and we pull it for them.
How fast is this process? Everyone's trying to close their loans.
That's always a question. UCC searches 24 hours. Okay. When we get into some of the what they call cow towns, it can take up to 5 to 7 days.
That's interesting. Why so much longer?
We're actually sending an abstractor into that specific county sometimes.
Are you?
Yeah, and pulling that data.
Okay.
So it just takes longer.
Okay. Yeah. It's rural America, not Cowtown.
Yes.
McKenna, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Finally, we like to highlight small business, CDC Small Business Finance, who gave me access to their video trove. I love running their videos. They have a lot of nice profiles of their customers. If you have a profile, send it over to us. We'd love to run it. But CDC Small Business Finance is a small business. And what is not to like about puppies and small business? Thank you for joining us today for the Coleman Report update in supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.